Hey pals, so I didn't actually vlog on December 18th because it was my last day of school. I had exams and then I went and slept over at someone's house. So I was just like, it was like a really busy day, and also that person didn't know that I have YouTube. So instead, a few days prior, I told a dream during one of my Vlogmas vlogs, but I decided to split that up into separate videos, so that is what this video is. So yeah, let's get rolling on the dream story time. A dream story time is appropriate to be in bed, right? No, I'm not gonna be in bed. Okay, so the first dream that I just remembered now was like, but I guess we like moved houses and meow. Or maybe it was in, what? Hello, kitty. Oh no, he's gonna want food. I have to move. Oh no. And now you move. Mookie's just trying to make things difficult for me. And he knows I don't like him. He knows I don't like him going on my desk. Look where he is. Attacking paper clips and plastic bags. Okay. Where was I? We like moved houses. Mookie. Is he gonna go back and get food now? I swear. Mooks. Why you gotta be like this? I'm gonna put your food down for the time. Do not get on the windowsill. I'm gonna put your food on the ground for the time being. Okay. Maybe we can finally start now. We moved houses. I can't remember if it was just to a random house or to my friend Sylvan's house. But I remember at first I got a small room that I like didn't like. And I was like, why can't I have this room? Which is what my friend Sylvan's room was. But then I guess we were just in a different house because I ended up trading rooms with my brother and I got a bigger room. I don't know why he traded with me because I wouldn't have. But it was just a weird color. I think it was like a bright yellow or something, and I didn't like it. And I just remember like messing around with the lights in there with my dad, like a lamp. I don't really know all that happened in that dream. But anyways, like the nightmare, I guess you could say, like it probably isn't a nightmare for some, and it really isn't that much of a nightmare for me. I mean, I guess you could technically classify it as a nightmare. But you're performing, you can't take it with you again, which if you don't know, was the play I was in, and I was a pretty big character. Basically, my character, her name is Alice. She's part of this like really like crazy family. This is set place in the 30s. Like no one in my family has a real job except me because my grandpa is just this like philosophical dude who's like, why do it if it doesn't make you happy? So no one has like a real job and they're just really weird. And my character actually does work at a place called Kirby & Co. And she gets engaged to the boss's son, Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr. And so like that's the first act, is like the first scene is like just the family being itself, and then I walk in and I'm like, okay, I'm going on this date, don't make it weird. And then we go on our date, and then we come back from our date, and Tony and Alice have like this huge scene, and at the end they get engaged. Sorry for spoiler alerts, but I mean, you probably haven't even heard this play before. Then we had an intermission, and then the next scenes where I'm preparing because Tony's family is gonna come over. They're like members of high society, and Tony's family is gonna like come to my wacky house, so I gotta prepare. They end up coming the night before they were supposed to, so like everything goes wrong. They end up calling off the engagement because so much goes wrong, and then the next day, like that's kind of like when the resolution is. But I dreamt that we were doing that for like a middle school in our area, and only like 6th through 8th grade. And they weren't even sitting in our auditorium seats, they were sitting in the seats that like the basketball players sit in when they're at basketball games. And they were just like in the front of the house, like in the orchestra pit for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what I was doing, but I just like remember asking the person who played Tony like what was happening, and he said, you missed your entrances in the first act, so our like, one scene didn't even happen. It's a pretty significant scene because that's the scene they get engaged in, and so that never happened. So like the rest of the play wouldn't make sense because we don't even know that these two characters are like engaged or anything. They don't even know me. I hadn't even gone on. And I remember being like, oh, did I miss my entrances? Like, what? I was so confused. I didn't have my hair or makeup done. I think I might have been in costume, but I didn't have like my hat that I'm supposed to walk in with, or like the gloves. And so it's intermission. We only had a 10-minute intermission, and like our costume lady was like, oh no, your hair, cause she has an accent, so that was like a little bit of me trying to say that with her accent. And it was just in a bun, but it was in the same bun that I put it in last night, where there's things flying out of my hair. That's kind of problematic. I had it like wrapped up like this, and then I just had a single bobby pin in it, so it looked like that, which is not at all close to like the 1930s hairstyles, especially the one that I had. And the one I had took like 20 minutes to do, so she just tried to like push it all up to get that like 30s look, like kind of look like this, and she just kind of pushed it all up, and I didn't have like my makeup on. I think I did have my costume on, but then in intermission, for some reason, like members of our crew and even our cast are just like walking around on the stage, like on the set, when they shouldn't be. And I remember just like calling like cast and crew, like get off the set. And then my director started asking the kids like that were watching us, and we also in real life we do perform for like these kids, and we perform for the kids that we were performing for in the stream, but it was like an actual planned performance. I don't know when this performance was happening, but I think it was in addition to the 3 actual nights that we performed and the one with the kids like the day before opening night, and we were just having a 5th one for some reason. I don't know what it was for, but I think even some of the kids were on stage. But I remember the way our set was, it was like a house, so there were walls, so it was like really hard to be seen by the audience if you were like behind the set, like waiting to go on stage. But for some reason I and like just everyone was doing a horrible job of staying like hidden, even though there's only 2 real places that you could have been seen. It was so weird, but people kept like, I would be just like standing there and people would just be like pointing at me and like laughing because they could see me. I was like, oh no, they can see me. And then my director started asking the kids like during intermission just questions, and they weren't even about the play. They were like questions that they were kind of theater related, but not really. In my dream, I remember there were like 3 specific like questions, but I can't remember what they were now. But I feel like they were probably even questions that our director like has asked us in real life. But then I guess that was just to like distract them from the mess that production was. And then he just like sent them home after the first act, because like we just couldn't do the second act because I missed my entrances and the Tony and Alice scene never happened. So like the setup for the second act just didn't happen, so we just didn't have it. And then he came backstage and was like so furious at us, and like I totally get why, because like his actors just didn't have it together, or at least I didn't. Maybe I was like the single problem, I don't know, but meow, meow. But then he was like, only 50 kids saw that, but now 10,000 people are gonna know like how bad that was, because social media, it was so weird. But I woke up and I was like, it was only a dream. That was just so weird, and I guess you could say that was a nightmare for me, because like I don't know. Oh my gosh, but I'm so glad that didn't happen in real life. I'm trying to think of in the actual performances what was the biggest mess up. One of our characters actually did miss his entrance, but he was like the person in the cast that you had to meow. Okay, I'll be back. I'm back. He was the person in the cast that people had to like let him know when his cues were, and he was like looking at his lines and a script backstage every night, and he also didn't project enough because we didn't have mics. So, but like a person like such a major character like me missing an entrance, let alone the whole first act, was just crazy. There was one time I almost forgot to go back on. It was after the Tony and Alice scene, because there's a little bit with her father afterwards. Like when I said goodbye to him and he like went out the door, we started talking backstage, like talking about our scene, and then I hear, oh hello Alice, and I was like still off stage. I was like crap. So that was a little bit of a mess up. Wow, this is so long already. Maybe I should just like upload this separately. I don't really know. So I should stop vlogging now, because I think we're gonna get a treat tonight. So much happening.